power. This is the PMDG not 777, sorry, 737 NGX for Flight Sim X. And today I'll be showing you the pre-flight procedures for this. So to start up, mine's already in this configuration, but we're going to start from the long turn. To do that, open your FMC. On the menus page, you'll select PMDG setup, load a panel state, NGX long, and execute that. Now you'll see, switch to the cockpit now. As you can see at the top, it's initializing all the systems. Don't click anything until this time is up. You may mess something up. But we'll start here. 4 seconds left. And there we go. So this is how you would find a plane. Say it's been at the gate a while. No APU, has ground power connected. That's what we're utilizing. So I'm going to start out now with the FCOM. The FCOM comes with the PMDG aircraft. It's a good thing to read through if you don't know any of the procedures, or you can just follow this tutorial. Now what I'm doing is a little more streamlined. I'm not going to test all the fire warnings and all the oxygen and stuff like that. I don't have failure set up. If you want to get that detailed, go ahead and take a look at the FCOM. It is a good walkthrough of everything that would normally go on. But since this is a sim, I'm going to slow down, or shorten it a little bit, so that you won't be taking all day to do this. Let me just cancel this caution light, and we're going to open the very overhead where the IRS systems are. So as we can see, they're both off. So we're going to turn those both onto nav. You see on DC comes up, and it should say align. Now I have mine in quick align. I don't like waiting the 10 or so minutes it takes for it to actually align. So it'll align pretty immediately. So following the FCOM, we're going to do this. Now we're going to move into our FMC. We see that we have a 737-800 with winglets, an engine rating. My nav data is out of date. I don't actually buy the updates. And we'll go to position initial. See, I have set KBTV in there already. You can see that's the same as the current position. It's telling us to enter the IRS position now. So take last position, set it in there. As you see, our primary flight display down in the middle has come to what we normally see. It's not blank anymore, it's initialized. That's what quick initialization will do, which you can set up in the options. Since I've set Burlington in the reference airport, when I go to route, it pops up right there for origin. Now I'm just going to set in a quick route. Say I'm going to JFK. I'll put in my WestWind call sign. Say I'm taking off on 33. Click next to put in a waypoint. I'm just going to put in the Albany VOR. I'm going to activate that. I don't really care about the rest. This is just showing a startup tutorial. I can do a further FMC tutorial in the future, but for now I'll just do that. Performance initialize, get the automatic zero fuel weight from PMDG. Set in just a reserve. I don't actually know how much fuel I have on. And I'll say I'm going up to 310. You see that? I can execute the performance. I'll say I'm taking off a full power, no derate, flaps 5, take the trim from PMDG, and set in the numbers. So after you do your CDU pre-flight, we're going to exit that and we're going to start in the flows. Now the flows, we're going to start, it's sort of like reading a book. We're going to start on the left, but we're going to go up from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, on our way across. So as we start over here, you see we want all these switches guarded. We'll turn the yaw damper on, make sure the light extinguishes. We'll come down, navigation, all our switches are in normal, they're right in the middle. We'll come down further, our cross feed is closed, we'll leave all the fuel pumps off for now. Now we'll jump back up to the top of the next section. You can see we have the DCMs, our battery switch right here in the middle is guarded. Our cabin and in-flight entertainment switches are both on. Our engine drive, both the drive lights are illuminated, which is what we want. The ground power is illuminated, we have that on. We come further down, we don't need to touch any of this stuff yet. Both the wipers are in park. Come back up and go down the middle. Equipment cooling is normal. We'll arm the emergency lights and right click to guard those. fueling is complete, so we'll turn on the seatbelt sign. Now we'll go back up. We'll turn on our window heat. We're going to leave the probe heat off. Wing anti-ice will stay off. Engine anti-ice off. And hydraulics we'll have on the engine hydraulic and leave off the 2 electric hydraulic pumps. Now we'll jump back up to the top of the right side. Our trim air switch right here in the middle is on. All the temperatures are in auto. We'll turn on the recirc fans. We'll put the packs to auto. Leave the isolation valve in the middle all the way on open and have the engine and the APU bleed on. We'll set our flight cruise altitude to what we set in FMC, 310. Our landing altitude will be somewhere around 50 feet, I'm assuming. Leave the, sorry, I forget the exact name, the cabin dump valve. It's what controls the pressure for the cabin. We'll leave that in auto. Now we'll come down and go left across the lighting panel. All our landing lights are up and retracted. Runway turn-off lights are off. Taxi light is off. We can actually go ahead and start the APU now. We'll leave the engine switches off. Ignition will be left. What I normally do is on an odd day I'll use left, even day I'll use right. Logo light is off, it's not dark enough yet. The position light we have just steady, which is the red, green, and white navigation lights. We don't need a beacon yet, we don't need the wing light, and we don't need wheel well lights. So I'll just wait for the APU to fully start up here. There we go. So we see APU Gen off bus. This is our APU available light. So we'll turn on both of those. And now we can open up the FMC. If you click Menu, FS Actions, Ground Connections, make sure our parking brake is set, and we'll just get rid of the chocks, which will also disconnect the ground power, the air start, and the air conditioning. So if we go back to our overhead, there we go. We still have pressure from the APU bleed, we still have air conditioning, and we still have power from the APU gen. So now we're going to come across the glare shield. The only thing I changed my range down to 10. The altimeter is set, and I turn on data, terrain, and click in the middle here for TCAS when we get in the air. Now, as we come across the auto flight controls here, we're going to turn on the flight directors. If I open up the FMC here, you see our V2 is 149, so I'll set that in there. I know in Burlington, runway heading will be 326, and I'm going to say I'm cleared to 10,000 for now. That's all I need to set up there. I'm going to come across here, clock is how I want it. All the settings are normal for now. We're going to set the auto brake to RTO. Flaps are up, as we can see. And we'll come down to the center. I'll set up, actually the radios are set up. I have Burlington ground as active, tower is standby, and a squawk code which we would have gotten from the clearance. So now we're ready. We'd wait for passengers to board, and now we'd start getting ready for engine start. So the engine start flow, we'll come up to the overhead again. We're going to turn on the fuel pumps. I have enough fuel in the center tanks that those will be on. Come down, I check everything in the next panel over, I check everything in the middle, seatbelts are on. I come over, probe heat still off. I'm going to turn off the engine 1 hydraulic power. Turn on the electric driven on the B pumps. I'm going to come around, I'm going to turn both packs off. As you see, I reset the APU bleed. Sometimes mine does this. We can see that we are getting the air pressure we need now. I'm going to come down to the lighting panel. I'm going to make sure that the beacon, the anti-collision light, goes on. As I come down to the bottom, we're going to hit the engine to turn on our secondary display down here. And then I'm going to go into the FMC, and I'm going to request a pushback. There we go. Straight back distance 50. Turn the nose right. I think it's about 75 degrees here. Just guessing here.
And
I'll say
ground
start.
cockpit.
Go ahead, Captain.
We're all set to go up here. We've been cleared to push and start at your discretion.
Roger that, ready for push. Power and air are clear, doors closed. We are ready for pushback. Release parking brake, please.
Release the parking brake for them.
Okay, parking brake is off, cleared to push.
Brakes off, here we go.
There we go. Now we can go ahead and start up the engines. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn engine number 2 to ground. We're watching our indications down here. As you can see, we just got a little bit of oil pressure starting and N2 rotation. Now when N2 gets to 25%, we're going to flip this engine 2 cutoff switch to idle. There we go. Now what we're looking for is at about 56% N2. We should hear a click of the start switch we turned going to off. We should see the start valve open disappear. And we'll know we have a stable start. You hear the engine starting in the background. We go to the external view. I pushed a little bit too far here. But we can see the engine spinning up there.
Push is complete. Set parking brake, please.
56%. I heard
All
the
right,
click.
brakes are
Light
set
extinguished.
and pressure's normal.
So now we'll start engine number 1.
Okay,
Using
sir.
the
No
same
wires on.
procedure.
Pin is out. Watch the pin on the right.
Alright guys, thanks. You're cleared to disconnect. We will
There's
be
the starter. We
watching
have
for the
N2
pin and
rotation.
the release from guidance on the right side of the airplane, and we'll see you guys next time through.
Roger that. Have a good flight.
There's 25% now. And we're looking for 56% N1, or N2, sorry. There goes the engine control to off, and we have a good start. So now we'll go into our after start flow. We'll come down, we'll turn the engine generators on. Come around, probe heat will go on. The rest of our hydraulics will go on. Come back around, packs will go to auto, isolation valve to auto, and the APU bleed will turn off. And come over, we can turn the APU off now. Come down, auto throttle to arm. I know on this departure I'd be using, I'll have VNAV armed and heading select. RTO is there. We'll set flaps to 5. And if we go back to our takeoff page, the trim was 6.48, so we'll set our trim to 6.48, which is right about there. We switch to bottom screen to systems. We can see our flight controls down there. So we'll do a flight control check. We'll do full left, full right, full up, full down, full left rudder, center, full right rudder, center. We'll click the systems display to clear that. Check our recall and turn on our taxi light. Let me get back on the taxiway here. And that is all we have. Now you'd go through your taxi checklist will be complete. After start is complete, taxi to your runway and be ready to depart. Now, I did push back the wrong way actually. Let me just turn this puppy around. If you want to see any more on the PMDG 737 or the PMDG 777 even, leave a request in the comments or send me a message on the forums, WestWind 2363. Let me know how you guys like this video, if I could have been any more clear, if I missed anything, screwed anything up, and I will see you guys next time.